Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome to Europa Universalis IV as we are playing with the new Emperor expansion and the 1.30 Austria update. So this update has been in development for a very long time. I think it's been about a year and a half since they first started working on this. And I should give you guys some information about the DLC before we get started here. The Emperor DLC is coming out on June 9th, and that will be accompanied by the 1.30 patch, and it is $19.99. Now, considering how large this expansion is, that's a pretty good price. I've been somewhat unhappy with some of the prices for the previous EU4 DLCs, but I feel like $20 for everything that this everything you're getting in the expansion, and of course also to kind of support the fact that you're getting a lot of this stuff for free in the patch, I think is a pretty dang good price, because this is a absolutely massive expansion patch. Go take a look at the patch notes on the Paradox forums if you want to see everything that's being changed. There's quite a bit to it, and that is really the reason why we're playing this today. For those of you who've been on the channel for a while, you know I don't really play EU4. I haven't played this since we did our last series with the Dharma expansion. So that was in September of 2018. Yeah, September 2018 was the last time I played EU4 outside of this little Brandenburg campaign I did for 20-something years to just kind of refamiliarize myself with the game. So definitely wouldn't consider myself an expert at the game anymore, since I rarely ever play it. I was a prominent modder for the game for a long time, so I do have a lot of experience with it, between modding it and playing it, but that experience is with older versions of the game. So don't expect me to know I don't know the hotkeys. I just don't have as much experience with this as I do with, say, Hearts of Iron 4 or even like Crusader Kings 2, because I just don't play it very often because, as I've mentioned several times, whenever we talk about EU4, when people ask me about it, I just didn't like the direction that Paradox was taking the game. I think probably in maybe 2017 is when I just kind of decided I just didn't want to play the game anymore. I just found myself not really enjoying it. There's just certain mechanics that many of which have been in the game since it first released, and I just really didn't enjoy them. One of those being like the way mercenaries worked. I just felt like it just took away from the game a lot, because it's so easy to win wars. All you need is money, and money is so easy to get in this game. So that was kind of one of my chief complaints. I had a lot of complaints though, and things I didn't like. I didn't like what they were doing in the new expansions and DLCs, so that's why I stepped away from the game, decided I wasn't going to play it anymore. But I've been following these developer diaries over the last year and a half, and really liking what I'm reading. They're really trying to, rethink many of the mechanics, especially ones that have been added in some of the DLCs, like estates, which I always thought didn't really work very well. And I really like what they've done. They've made some great changes to it. And so now I think it's finally time to check out EU4 again and see if this patch, this update, has made it into a game that I can enjoy and play more regularly again. So I'm really looking forward to discovering that answer. So as you guys can see, I do have all of the DLCs owned and enabled. I actually had to buy the Golden Century one because I didn't have that one, so I just bought that yesterday. It's not a great expansion in my opinion. I think it's probably the worst one they've released. However, it does have a couple cool mechanics. The flagships is fun, even if it's just a little thing. Naval barrages is helpful when you're naval power. But other than that, for the most part, I really don't find it to be a great expansion, but I decided to buy it anyway, just so we'd have all of them for this series here. And then, of course, we have the Emperor one, which, I mean, you can just see the difference. I know that this is like a little pack, but if we look at like one of the previous best expansions, and the little features that gives, I mean, which they're great features, and that's one of the best DLCs you can get. And just look at the difference. But yeah, you can see all the features to it. There's quite a bit to this DLC, as you'd expect with how long the development has been. So we're going to be playing with all the regular options. Everything is going to be like default and normal default settings, and we're going to be playing as Milan. So this patch focuses very much on the Holy Roman Empire. It also improves all, pretty much all the province layouts throughout Europe. They kind of took a look at that and redid the map in many areas around Europe, including in France. You can see France looks quite a bit different from the previous version. They've kind of broken it up again And again, you have the vassal swarm that you used to have here, that new mechanics have allowed them to re-implement into EU4. Now, as far as the features go, they're very much focused on Catholicism and the Holy Roman Empire. So I thought it makes sense to play as Milan, because I'm sure a lot of other YouTubers are going to be playing in Germany, Austria, Bohemia, maybe even Brandenburg, Saxony. I think you'll see a lot of people playing there. There's also a bit of a focus on France, so there might be people doing series there. I don't know how many people are going to play in Italy on YouTube, so I'm hoping that this will be the only Milan series going. And I think they're just a perfect fit. Obviously they start out in the HRE, so they might be able to play around with that. Though we might very well end up leaving, due to the whole Shadow Kingdom event mechanic thing that they have. So we might end up leaving the HRE, but we will be remaining Catholic. That'd be the goal, is to try and stay Catholic. And so we'll be able to take advantage of all the new additions and changes to Catholicism. And then our main goal will be to try and expand in northern Italy initially. And then from there, we'll just let's see where we go, see what makes sense for us. So let's go ahead and get this started. Milan has some pretty cool ideas, as well as pretty cool idea, idea chain, as well as, I'll just kind of scroll through here and we'll take a look at that actually. So they start out with the 10% infantry combat ability and the 1+ diplomatic relations. And then we have quite a few good bonuses here, like the technology cost. I mean, anything that saves, monarch power for me is good. And then the finisher is a national manpower modifier plus 20%. So I think that they have pretty decent ideas. And they also have an interesting mission tree. I guess we'll take a look at that as well. So these are the starting missions we need to do. So we got one for subduing Genoa, claiming some provinces around us here, dealing with the Swiss, and then what's this one? Friends in high places. Okay, we gotta be allied with somebody, looks like. Any ally, yeah, so it needs to be a strong ally. And then we have the Renaissance city. So we get that once we've embraced the Renaissance, and we have it looks like our capital needs to be a development of 30. So these are the missions we have. Not a large mission tree, but remember, if we do end up forming Italy, then we'll get access to the new Italian mission tree. So that might be one thing we end up doing. I don't know. We'll just see how it goes, guys. I'm not going to set too many goals for this campaign. We're just going to roll with it. Two things I'd like to mention before we get started here. If you're planning on buying the Emperor expansion and you'd like to help support the channel, then consider using the link that'll be in the description of this video. I'll link you to the Paradox Store entry for the DLC, and that is an affiliate link. So anything you buy in the store, whether it's the expansion or you go buy the base game or you go buy something else, once you use that link, anything you buy in that tab, our channel will get a little percentage of the profits. That's just one way to help the channel out, and that will give you a Steam code if that's what you prefer. So you can still, put it on your Steam account. So that's the first thing I'd like to mention. The second thing is, if you are new to the channel, you just came here through this series, I do play a bit slower. I pause probably a little bit more than some YouTubers do. I'm very talkative. I talk as I play. So I do play a little bit slower, and also we're not going to be painting the map our color. I don't like playing that way. I don't find that to be fun or enjoyable, where you just go conquering the whole map. This will not be a world conquest, and we will probably not expand quite as rapidly as like some EU4 YouTubers do, where they just constantly conquering and trying to expand. We're going to expand a little bit slower than I think you'll see some other channels do. So just keep that in mind. I find once you get so large, then the game gets really, really easy, and that's not really enjoyable to me, where you get that snowball effect. So I'd like to expand a little bit slower, just kind of limit ourselves. But yeah, let's go and get started, guys. I talked long enough, so let's go ahead and start out by dealing with one of the new mechanics. So they've completely revamped the estate mechanic, and I like it a lot better. I voiced the concerns I had with the previous system in the last EU4 series I did, and how I just I just didn't like the way they had done it. In my own mod, you'll probably recognize this if you watch those videos I did of my mod that I had made for EU4, many years ago, called Lex Talionis, Lex Talionis 2, I suppose. The first one was for EU3. And I had done a very similar system as well. It was a system focused on the percentage of land that each estate owned. I had crown lands, I had all this stuff that they have here. There's privileges, there all that good stuff. I redid the loyalty system, and it works the same way it works here. So basically, I'm not saying that they're inspired by my my mod or anything like that, because I know one other mod, and I know that mod was inspired by what I did. But yeah, there was one other mod that also kind of did a similar system, and maybe they saw it from them. And of course, as I said, they were inspired by my mod. So, I would say that somewhere in there, I think what I did with the estate system influenced what they have here, because it's very similar to what I created. So therefore, you can probably imagine I really like the new system. Just works, again, it works exactly the way I had it working in my mod. So I like that. You'll notice we already have an issue here, though, with the crown lands. We are not at 30% crown lands. I believe we're at 29 point something. So I'm going to fix that just because I don't want these modifiers here. And there's a couple different ways to get crown lands, and they do highlight that here in the tooltip. And one of them is to develop our provinces. And so that's what we're going to do. Now, I could just wait a little bit, and I think it would eventually, tick up, because I think the crown lands is always ticking up, or it seemed that way anyways. When I was playing in the Brandenburg little test series I did, it seemed like it was ticking up all the time, because I wasn't doing anything, and it was, I was getting, more crown lands. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of the problem now, though, and the way we're gonna do that is just spend our 58 diplomatic power to improve base production here, and by doing that, that fixes the issue, because investing in development does increase your crown lands. So that has fixed that issue there, and I'll just show you guys the little different things we can see here. We're going to be summoning a diet, so let's go ahead and do that now. This is going to give all estates 5% influence and 5 more loyalty. So what this does is it allows us to set an agenda here. This is essentially a goal for us to work towards, and each one of the estates has a different proposal. And so we're going to go ahead and take a look at these. And there are different ones for each estate, so it's not always going to be the same. So the proposal of the clergy is they want us to improve papal relations. So we can get papal relations up to 100, then we'll gain 10 loyalty with the clergy, and we'll get a modifier that's going to give us 1+ papal influence. So pretty easy to do with a decent benefit. The nobility wants us to get 2 allies. This is going to grant 10 loyalty as well, and we're going to get a +1 diplomatic reputation. And then the burghers, or the bourgeoisie, they want us to get 25% or more trade power in our trade node. So this one would be a little bit more difficult to probably do, because I imagine we don't have anywhere near that amount. No, we're at 10%. So yeah, that would likely be the more difficult of the 3. And if we did it, we would get a skill 1 trader. That's going to increase our trade efficiency. Of course, it'll be cheaper. So we're not going to do that one. We'll do one of these 2. And I think we're going to do the Papal Influence one, the proposal of the clergy. That'd be really easy to do. So let's go ahead and accept that as our agenda. Let's go ahead and set up our rivals here. So as our enemies, and these are the countries that have set us to be rivals. And, I know that some of you guys coming to this may be very experienced with EU4. I should have mentioned this early on. One reason why I'll probably be playing slower and talking a lot is because I know that the majority of my subscribers that like Paradox games are here for Hearts of Iron 4. They subscribed for Hoi 4 content, and they may have never played this game. I know the last time we did the EU4 series, there was a lot of people seeing EU4 for the first time. So I know a lot of them appreciated me explaining mechanics. So I will be doing that a little bit, explaining the way mechanics work as we go. Switzerland has set us as a rival, and Savoy has, and they're kind of irrelevant. It doesn't really matter that they've said they have 2 provinces. Not too worried about them. So let's go ahead and set up our rivals. I guess what we should probably do first is figure out who we want to ally with. Figure out which way we want to expand. and then from there we can help determine who our allies are going to be. So the Venetians have currently, they haven't picked any allies just yet, I don't see. But I think we're probably going to fight Venice first. I feel like they got too much power here in northern Italy, so let's deal with them early on. I love that you can see how many soldiers they have. That's really cool. All in here, you can see all this, and you don't have to, look in the ledger anymore. So that's really nice. You can see, how many soldiers they have, how many ships they have, and how much manpower they have in reserves. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, I feel like we're going to definitely rival them, even though they have not rivaled us. So we could technically ally them if we wanted to. I feel like they're a natural rival. And I think we're going to ally Savoy. Yeah, I think that they would be a good initial ally, which we can always change this a bit later on. So yeah, we're going to ally them. We could also ally the Papal States to remain friendly with them. So I think we will do that. They also typically don't like Venice. So yeah, I think that those are going to be our allies, Savoy and the Papal States. And I'm not sure who else we're going to ally just yet. But I know that the Venetians will be a rival. So let's go ahead and set up these alliances. Oh, they won't ally with us. Well, let's go ahead and take a look and see who all will ally with us. I'm over here making plans, just assuming everybody wants to be my friend. But apparently they don't. So let's take a look and see who is all willing to ally us. Not really very many countries in Italy, unfortunately, are willing to accept an alliance. Okay. But for right now, let's go ahead and set up our rivals, since, yeah, nobody wants to be our ally. This may change the situation, because we get the increased relations with anybody who happens to be, rivaled with Venice as well. Let's go ahead and rival Mantua. And then for the last one, we'll probably go ahead and rival them as well, since they have selected us to be a rival. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. And then we'll see if that will impact relations at all. I guess I completely forgot that they were rival to us. We saw that early on here. Yeah, that's the reason why they wouldn't ally with us. Okay, that makes sense. Let's go ahead and start increasing relations with the Papal States now, so we can, get that agenda fulfilled, and then also hopefully they'll be willing to ally with us. All right, so we wanted to do that. As far as getting a advisor, let's see how we're doing on our points here. So our Duke here is not very good. Admin skill 1, Diplo skill 2, military skill 2, so not great. He is a free thinker, so that probably won't, we'll probably never get to use that since he's so old. And we have a penalty to improving relations. So overall, not great here. We also don't have an heir, and we are currently 52 years old, so that's not good either. We might in fact want to make use of the introduce new heir, although man, it's got some penalties, man. Maybe we'll just wait and see if we get one naturally. We're going to get one advisor set up, either a admin or a military advisor. So missionary strength won't be useful. National tax modifier helps pay for them. Over here we have the reinforced speed and the land maintenance modifier. Let's do the land maintenance modifier, guys. I'd like to have a good military. So let's go ahead and probably just leave this so we don't have a national focus set for right now. Eventually we're going to want to get it probably set over to admin, since we have such low admin power right now. But for right now, let's go ahead and get the military tech first, and then we'll do it. As far as what we're going to do with our military, we are going to get a leader assigned. Let's just recruit. Yeah, let's go ahead and recruit a general. We'll use the little bit of military power that we have. And then he's going to have 2 fire and 3 shock. And that allows to enable army drilling. So we are going to go ahead and drill our army. One of the advantages of having that advisor that we have, I think we're ready to start this. Yeah. One of the advantages of having that advisor that we have is that we can keep our army paid for. And, it's not going to be as expensive when it comes to the maintenance. It looks like we just got our 3rd trait, and we are cruel. So basically, our leader really, really sucks. So we really want to get rid of this Duke. He has 2 out of his 3 negative traits are negative, and of course he has terrible stats here. So just pretty garbage overall. So we are going to, and so this is the Shadow Kingdom thing. I think it'll become one of the incidents that happens. At least it did in my other playthrough. So that'll be interesting, because I do believe that we are currently in the HRE. Yeah, you can see all northern Italy is currently in the Holy Roman Empire. All right, so what we're going to go ahead and do is let's go ahead and start getting ready to attack our rival right here. So let's set one of our, one of our diplomats to do the build spy network, so we can get a claim here on them, because I'm pretty sure, we don't have one yet. So we're gonna get that started. And we still need to find another ally. So we're gonna do the Papal States as soon as we can get relations up. But as of right now, we don't have any allies. So we could improve relations with somebody. But again, Savoy was the main country I wanted to ally, and they're not willing to. We could try Genoa. They might be willing to ally with us. Nope, they're not willing to either. So let's just take a look and see, because we have to get this spy network up, I think, to 25, if I'm not mistaken. And let's just see if anything has changed yet as far as who is willing to ally with us. No, not really. All right, so we know that we're going to have one ally here in Germany. Still not quite sure who I want to ally with, though. It's got to be somebody who's got borders with the Swiss, because I assume that we're going to have trouble with them eventually. Every time I do a Milan playthrough, I always have trouble with the Swiss. So I assume we're going to want to have an ally that can help us there. And what we're doing right now is we're just getting our drill up, and again, getting that spy network built up so I can get a claim here. So the drilling grants us a benefit in this army here. When you hover over it, you can see what we're currently getting. Obviously, those modifiers aren't great, but the current army drill is pretty low. So some good bonuses here, and then in addition to that, it also increases our professionalism, which gives those benefits. Very nice. This is one of the new features here, the Golden Bulls. So that is in the papacy here, and I think that the Pope picks this. Every time you get a new Pope, he picks his Golden Bull. And this one that we currently have has given us 2+ tolerance for heathens and a -5% development cost. But overall, the Papal States have just been made a lot more fun to play with. I never really enjoyed playing with the Papal States, because it feels like really the benefit of being Pope is given to the Papal controller. So as the Pope, you got to always try and get control of your papacy, become the Papal controller, which was kind of difficult to do. Now it is a lot easier to do because of some of the changes, the different mechanics they've changed up. You also notice other changes like the fact that the Curia now has money that can be donated here. So yeah, a lot of different mechanics that we'll kind of look at as the playthrough goes. So these guys want to ally with us. It is 5,000 men, so I suppose it would be helpful. And I don't know if I'll expand that way anytime soon. I guess we can take a look and see. Yeah, they're rivaled with many of the same countries we are. They are allied with Savoy as well. So we want to ally them eventually. So yeah, I guess we can go and ally with them. Sure, why not? Let's go and accept that alliance. And we got the Sharing Faults event, which is we're going to lose 15 diplomatic power, but we're going to get the Affectionate Royal Couple. We'll get a little bit more legitimacy, which is useless since we already have maxed out legitimacy. All right, we could also take a look and see if there's any marriages we could take advantage of, since we might not be able to use all of our, all of our slots here, which we have a total of 5 slots. We might not be able to use our slots for alliances, since nobody wants to be our friend. So maybe instead we should use them for royal marriages. Just see if there's any ones we really want to take advantage of over here, specifically in Italy. That's where I'd like to. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything, guys. Yeah, for the most part, I think that there's not really opportunities to take advantage there. And we got corruption because we're an incompetent administrator. It's always rough when you've got a crappy leader, guys. They also have discovered our spy, so because of that, that is ticking down. So that's a shame. They want to offer royal marriage, we'll accept that. Might as well marry them, since you have to use the diplomatic slot for the alliance anyways. As far as the money goes, we're not earning a lot. That's because of our forts here. We should probably stop paying for these. And you know what, guys? I don't really know what the point of having the fort here is. I kind of think we're going to destroy this fort. Yeah, I just don't see any point on having the fort right here. You already have the fort here, which covers that province. I know the idea here is, to keep like the Swiss from being able to come through here. But I feel like we just don't need it, and it's even when you're not paying fully for it, you're still paying a little bit. So we're going to go and destroy that, guys. I don't think that's good fort placement for us. I think we can just rely on the fort in our capital. And that should help save us some money, because as you guys see, we are broke. So we can get 1 stability or 10 prestige with a artist. And that would not be one of the cheaper artists. So we're just going to go ahead and get the stability, guys. Always nice to have. Gives us some nice bonuses there. So yeah, because of our spy getting discovered, it's going to be a little bit slower trying to attack them than I thought it would be. Oh, okay, so this went a little bit different this time than the way it went this, my Brandenburg campaign. France and England are not going to be fighting because looks like the English have decided to surrender it. Okay. So typically that results in war between the French and the English, but not in this particular case. Again, historically, and what's this here? Historically, there was an agreement when the English king, Henry VI, was arranged to marry Margaret of Anjou, and King Charles agreed, King Charles of France, agreed to the marriage if he got this province. Now, of course, historically, it did end up resulting in war anyways, which is the whole reason why Henry VI agreed to the marriage. Well, one was because he also had heard about how beautiful Margaret was. More than anything, he was just trying to find a way to avoid a conflict. Him and Suffolk were trying to find a way to avoid conflict with the French. And so they'd hoped that this marriage and giving up the province here would result in peace, but what ended up happening is the French took the province and moved their troops in here, and then they just kept on going. And then they still ended up having war here, and of course, you know the story of that. The English did lose Normandy. The French took over Normandy from them, and eventually the English only had Calais left on the mainland. So that's what happened historically. It did result in conflict, but in this particular case, it looks like there will be peace between France and England. So we have the robber barons. So let's see what our options are. We can gain 1 plus a base tax, or we can gain 1 plus base production. And essentially one of these, the tax would please the nobility, giving them influence and loyalty. Well, this one would please the burghers. Well, let's just take a look and see exactly where their influence is at, where their loyalty is at, because we don't want to get loyalty too low or influence too high. So they actually have pretty good influence and loyalty, the both of them. So that's why we're getting 10% trade efficiency and 15% manpower recovery speed. At the lowest, these are only 5%. So I think we'll probably go with the burghers because the nobles are getting kind of powerful as it is. So I think that's probably what we'll do. Plus, I do think the trade efficiency is going to be a little bit more useful for us initially because we need money. So I think we're going to do that one. The 1 plus base production would probably be pretty helpful here as well. Oh no, it won't. They just have grain, so it's not going to generate much money, but that's okay. Yeah, that's what we'll do. Let's do this one. And the nobles can just be irritated at us. They're currently sitting at 34% right now. their loyalty. So they don't like us a lot. So yeah, this is taking a little bit longer than I was expecting. What we could do is try and work on somebody else instead, like perhaps try and go to war with them. Let's just take a look, see who the allies are. Oh, wait a minute. They've allied with both of us. Is that right? Let me just take a look here. Oh, I'm just looking at the wrong country. My bad, guys. Alright, so they're allied with them over here. So we don't really need to worry about that. How about these guys? Who are they allied with? Oh, they're allied with the Papal States. Alright, good, I saw that. So we won't be declaring war on them first. We're going to have to change this up since we don't want to go to war with the Papal States. So let's go and confirm that, and I guess we'll instead go to war with these guys since they have chosen a weak ally. So we'll move our spy over to here. I wish I'd seen that earlier, so we wouldn't have been wasting that time, but that's okay. It does give us the benefit. Oh, we've gotten the agenda fulfilled. So that'll give the clergy increased loyalty for us. So you can see that the burghers love us, absolutely love us. So that's getting us an additional benefit here of the -5% development costs. That's really nice. And then the Clergy are almost there as well. And that's giving us the 10% national tax modifier. So we got the yearly Papal Influence, so we'll get that a little bit quicker. So we can call another diet here in 1449. And so we do have a new Pope. And so that'll result in him picking a new golden bull, but it ended up being the same one. Doesn't have any effect there. We can do another a diet here in 2 years. However, each diet you do does increase the influence of them. So I assume that it keeps on increasing it. I haven't actually checked that, but I imagine you can end up giving them quite a bit of influence if you kept doing that. But yeah, maybe we'll call another one, because right now their influence is really not that high. It's not too bad. All right, so we're at 10 right now. Remember, we need to get to 25, and then yeah, we'll just declare war on them. Hopefully they don't gain any more allies that we'll have to mess with. And we should probably take a look and see if our military is going to be large enough as well. Yeah, it looks like ours is much larger than theirs. We'll also take a look, and we do have a little bit of money. We'll take a look and see if we have any room to build more units. We do. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do that then. We actually have 3,000 cav, which is probably unnecessary. Probably only need 2,000 initially here. You know, cavalry is really, really expensive. Really kind of hard to, you know, have too much of that in early games. So really just want enough to cover your flanks. So we actually only need 2,000. One benefit of having the extra one though is if, you know, one of them gets, you know, pushed off the line, then this one can cover that flank. So we'll keep the 3,000, I suppose, but we're just going to be building the infantry for right now, the Latin medieval infantry. You might want to take a look and see if we want to change any of those up, actually. So let's get a couple more units. We'll go up to, let's go up to like 15,000, I suppose. Yeah, so we'd need 4 more here. So yeah, get a little bit larger army, just to have them. We won't need them for attacking them. Yeah, the other thing I wanted to take a look at was the units we're using. I suppose we could change these up. Maybe go to the halberd infantry. I think we will. I think we're going to change this up. I like having that offensive shock value. I'm not too worried about morale. I think we'll be alright. Let's just kill more of them. With the Latin Knights, are we going to change these guys up? You know what, guys? We're going to leave the Latin Knights in. We'll leave them in. So their morale will be, their defensive morale will be higher, so they stay on the line longer, providing us that benefit. And no, don't want to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and merge all these and keep them drilling. We'll keep them drilling until we're ready to declare war, which will be soon, in fact. Unhappiness among the clergy. I thought we've been doing nothing but appeasing them. All right, so we're not going to read all the events. We'll read some of the big ones, of course. But these little ones, we won't go through all these. So we can ignore their demands, and they'll lose loyalty. We'll also lose papal influence, but we will gain prestige, or we can agree, in which case we'll lose a bunch of prestige, but gain the papal influence and and gain the loyalty. We're going to ignore their demands and take that prestige. It's kind of unfortunate though, because we were kind of trying to build up that papal influence, but it's fine. We're probably gonna have trouble building up papal influence any damn way. Let's go and recall our diplomats, and let's go ahead and get our claim here. We have gotten it up to 25. So let's. Oh, wait a minute. Is it not 25? It's 30. Okay, I thought it was 25. That's fine. We'll just wait a little bit. Get it up to 30. We'll stop the drilling, move our troops over here to Parma, and let their morale get back up. And then we'll declare war. So noble families feud. So we can side with one family, which would result in a revolt. We can gain local autonomy, which would be bad. Or we can settle the issue and lose diplomatic power. I don't really feel like fighting 7,000 men right now. It would be fairly quick, though, I think. So we could always just do that, rather than taking either of these penalties. Yeah, we'll just do that, guys. So let's go and stop the drilling now. We'll move them on over here. And I think we have like a month or so to get our, I don't know if we'll be able to get morale up high enough, honestly. We'll see. We'll see if we can. We'll let it go up to December 1st. There we go. Hopefully that's high enough. They'll be attacking us, and we're not getting any benefits from the train, unfortunately. Hopefully our general is better than theirs. We'll have 2 times the men, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Again, that morale's gonna hurt us, but we did win, just barely. All right, so let's go and move our troops on over to here, and let's make this happen. We're gonna go ahead and fabricate our claim. And they do not have any additional alliances here. So they'll allow us to declare war. We'll do it as soon as we get our troops over there. We'll wait till we have them there. And then we'll declare war. And we got a new cardinal. Awesome. So that's one of the changes in the new expansion, is that the Papal States actually selects who to give cardinals to. And I don't know if they use the money here, but I think they might. I think they might use this money to appoint cardinals. So that's really cool that you can now do that. Just it looks like the Papal States are just a lot funner to play as, period. So maybe I'll do a Papal States run, just try out some of the new features. We are having some money troubles, so that's unfortunate. That's because, of course, when you're doing reinforcements, it does get more expensive, your land maintenance. Trade League has been disbanded. So we'll just get to 15,000 men here, and then we'll declare war. All right, they still, again, don't have any alliances. Oops. So let's go ahead and declare war. We will not be pulling them in. They would be willing to join if we were to give them land, but we do not have any interest in giving them land. So let's go ahead and declare war. You can see what our numbers are looking like here. We've got 15,000 men compared to their total of 9,000 men. That counts their ally way over here. So let's go ahead and declare war. So we'll attack their troops here first, though I imagine that they're going to leave here. So what we might want to do is wait for them to come after us. We'll head over here and see what they do. They are staying there. Okay, good thing I didn't sit around waiting for them. So they have 6,000 men here. I think we cannot avoid getting the river penalty. Maybe not. Looks like we could if we were to go through... Yeah, well, we'd have to get access here to go through their lands. And it doesn't matter anyway, because I think it's within their zone of control. So I think we have to attack this way and just take the river penalty. It's fine. Talented and ambitious daughter. So we did end up getting an heir. And we can say she would make an excellent ruler. And you can see that we would have a very, very good heir, 644. And she'd already be 13. So she would definitely be of age by the time her ruler died. However, she would only have average claims, so we would have a lower legitimacy. And then we have the rebellious people penalty if we don't pick it. We will be doing this. Lose a little bit of papal influence. We don't have any anyways. And we lose a little bit of legitimacy. We got plenty of that. So we can name her. So let's see. We're just going to scroll through here and see. Are those the only names we have available? I wanted Katerina. Yeah, we're going to go with Katerina. So very, very good heir here. So she's already 13. In 2 years, we'll find out what her personality bonus is. So yeah, not bad at all. That was a good event. We got lucky. I didn't know if we were going to have an heir, if I was going to have to take that new appoint. Well, I don't know how new this is, but the the appoint heir thing. I think that is part of this patch actually. Might have been the last one though. But yeah, the I don't like that. I think that's kind of the fact that you can do that for just a little bit of prestige and a little bit of legitimacy essentially ensures that you'll never be without an heir and all the penalties that comes with that. So you're probably a lot less likely to see, especially in multiplayer, a lot less likely to see like personal unions and stuff. And if the AI uses that too, then it might be a lot more difficult to get personal unions, which is a real shame. I don't really like that change, but we did win the war, the battle, excuse me. Killed 6,000, lost 1,400 ourselves. And we'll just have to see if they end up bringing troops over here or not, their ally. If they even have enough ships to bring them, or if they have to go by land, which would take them quite a while. War would be essentially over by the time they got here, though this will actually take us a very long time to siege this down because we do not have the ships here to ensure that we're not getting that -2 penalty from them not being blockaded. Okay, so Switzerland has declared war. And the 3 leagues expanding their territory over here. So I believe this is all Swiss here. Switzerland looks a lot different, a lot more split up than they were before. And there's a crusade. So is Venice the papal controller? Yeah, Venice is the papal controller. Not sure how I missed that, but yeah, they're the current papal controller, and they have done what you'd expect them to do, since they are, you know, very much involved in that area. And they've got, looks like they might have already had a war going there when they declared that. So they are trying to siege down our fort here, and they do not have enough troops to do it. They'll keep building units. We'll deal with them after our own siege here is done. And again, it is going to take a little while since we do not have the blockade going right now. One thing that is a little bit different is the fact that, from last time I played anyway, I don't know if this came in the patch, or if this is something that's been the case, is the raising war taxes. It now requires 2 military power per turn. See, I recall it being like a flat cost, like you just paid, like, I don't know, 25 military power or whatever it was to raise the war taxes. I almost always did it, just it saved you so much money. But now with 2 per month, that could get very, very expensive. Many times wars last years and years and years because of how long the sieges take. So I imagine that would get really, really expensive. I mean, it would only take you, you know, what is that, 1 year to be at around the cost of what it was before. And oh, okay, they reduced our spy network. That's fine. So yeah, I don't think we'll be doing it anymore unless we're just like swimming in military power. But how often does that happen? So yeah, I probably won't do it. We'll just, you know, money's, you know, always more readily available. So they're building a pretty nice little force here, guys, that we're gonna have to take care of. But really all we need to do is take control of these 2 provinces here, and then we'll start seeing the war score tick up. So what do you have here? Army professionalism. We'll take that. Where are we at from the army professionalism? How far did we get? We're at 11.32%. So almost have the siege done. They are now actually able to siege it down. They have enough troops there. They're at 9,000 currently. So it's going to be a little bit tougher battle. However, let's see if we do not have any train bonuses. Remember, if you are the owner of the province and you're, you know, lifting a siege with your army, then you do get the train bonuses. That's one benefit, I think, of having that fortification here in the mountains. The Renaissance. We'll probably be able to get that fairly early. I think I didn't actually look at where that spawned. I guess we'll take a look real quick because I'm curious, because I just clicked through it. So yeah, we want to look at where it spawned, right here. So that's very, very close. So because the Renaissance spawning in Italy, as it did historically, though I don't know that you'd exactly say the word spawn historically, but yeah, because it did happen here in Italy, it is going to come to us much quicker. Alright, so we have conquered their 2 provinces. Also, it looks like their ally has brought some troops here, so it's going to probably be about 12,000 men here that we're going to have to fight, but hopefully should be an easy win because we have a better general. Yeah, our general is a, yeah, so we're attacking there. Let's click on this battle and see how it goes. Yeah, our general is definitely a lot better, and we have easily killed their 9,000 men. And did their ally not help? I don't know if their ally didn't help, but our general did gain the goal-oriented trait, which gives us increased movement speed. Excellent. So the war is done. So let's go ahead and end it. We're going to... I'd like to fully annex them, but it doesn't... I don't know if that's going to be an option with just how much... Okay, yeah, we're fine. I was kind of worried about aggressive expansion there, but yeah, that's not too bad at all. So we will be annexing them. We could also first try and do a peace treaty with them to get something from them, but you know what? I don't think we have any war score with them, so we probably wouldn't be able to get anything. I suppose we can take a look real quick. I always try and get like as much as I can. Oops. Out of any war. Yeah, they won't even accept a white peace. We have no war score, so yeah, no reason to try and get anything there. So yeah, we'll do the annexation, and we'll take whatever money they have as well. Looks like we would get 15 gold here. So let's go and send the demand off. I love how all the diplomatic actions are immediate now. That's really cool. Where before you had to wait to get a reaction from it. So we have conquered 2 additional provinces. As far as casualties go, we lost 6,000 total. They lost a little over 16,000. All right, so we're gonna go and continue paying for our military. So one thing you can do if you need money is you can always, damn, we got some corruption here, is you can always reduce your army maintenance. Try and save yourself some money. The thing here, though, guys, is the fact that we're drilling, and when you drill, you have to pay for the army. So there's really no point on doing that. That's really only useful when you're drilling is if you have another army that you're not drilling. So we're going to go ahead and start them drilling again, and we're going to go ahead and core our territory. This is going to cost all of our admin power, but that's okay. And we will start with them. Looks like we have enough to do both. So we'll start getting those provinces cored. And are we going to grant military access? Who are they at war with? They're at war with Switzerland? Yeah, sure, we'll grant them military access. I think they're going to lose anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant, but yeah, we'll help them out. We will not give the Ottomans access, even though they are fighting our rival. And our heir, Katerina, has gotten her first trait, which is Intricate Web Weaver. This is spy network construction plus 30%. Also, we're now short rivals that we've annexed our rival, so we need to get somebody else picked. So let's see who we want to rival now. We have a few new options here because we've got new borders. I think what we're going to do, let's take a look and see who's all our rivals again, because I don't remember. Switzerland has rivaled us, so it feels like, yeah, they should be our rival then. And I also forgot to embargo everybody, so let's go ahead and do that, guys. That'll give us some extra power projection. Embargo all of our rivals. I don't know why I'm looking at this here. Because I'm talking, that's why. So let's go ahead and select them, and then let's go ahead and get everybody embargoed. So we'll start with Venice here. And also, I didn't do my my merchants. Damn, guys. I'm just forgetting things left and right. So let's go ahead and get all this taken care of. So we're going to go ahead and embargo these guys. Issue the embargo here. And that's Venice. We also have Switzerland. Embargo them. And we don't have any diplomats yet. Let's go ahead and embargo them. And so that'll give us a little bit extra power projection there. And then the other thing we wanted to do is take a look at our merchants. They typically set them up in okay positions, I suppose, so it's not like they're entirely being wasted. But our capital is here. So we want to try and get trade going this way. Where do they currently have them set up? Okay, so we have one bringing them over to Venice from here, where we have probably no trade power. No. And then we have one, oops, my bad. And then we have one over here in Valencia. Bringing some of the profit this way. So I think what we're going to do, guys, I mean, we really don't have any trade power anywhere. Okay, so we're bringing it, I see, we're bringing it this way. Let's see which one's more profitable here. Here we're transferring 0.19, while over here we're transferring 0.16. Okay, so I suppose we'll keep the one here. Just looking to see if there's any other options where we might be able to get a bit more. I wonder if we wouldn't be able to bring more here just because there's more gold there overall. Yeah, we might be able to bring a bit more if we moved them over here from there. But what we're going to do with this one here, we're going to go ahead and have them, we're going to move over to this one, and we're going to collect from trade just to try and increase the amount of money that we have here and see what we get there. So that gave us like 10 something. So overall it's more profitable since that was only bringing 0.16 or whatever it was. And then of course we only got a percentage of that, 10%. So yeah, it's much more profitable us doing that than you know, bringing the trade over. As far as this guy here, let me see if we can make more money. I'm gonna just switch this up. We can always change it again. We're getting 0.16 there, and we're gonna see if we can't get a little bit more here. Right now we're transferring 0.23. And, oh, it's not within range. Okay, never mind. We won't be transferring anything from there. And I don't see any other more profitable ones, so yeah, we're good to go. Let's go and see what the hell these are. I'm going to say I don't want to be notified of this. They tell you whenever the mercenary companies get new captains, and we're just going to say that we don't need to see this. Every time a mercenary company gets new captains. That's one of the new features, guys. So I know you can open it through here. I don't know if it can be opened anywhere else. I would assume it'd have to be, right? Since the production interface, that's a special feature for one of the DLCs. So yeah, I would assume, unless this DLC also adds the ability to have the production interface, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I would assume you'd be able to open up somewhere else. Maybe when you click on a province, when you recruit through there. I'm curious, guys, so we're just gonna look this up real quick. Air mercenaries, yeah. You can access it through here, but it just opens it up here anyways, so yeah, I guess this is the only way to do it. Yeah, this is the new trade companies, which are really cool. I love this mechanic here. You know, they have their own like leaders. They can have different special modifiers here. Like with the Free Swiss Guard, they have a +5% discipline. And then they have their own little compositions. So yeah, I really like that. I know that Imperator Rome has a similar mechanic, but I kind of feel like this one's a lot better than Imperator Rome's. So I hope that Imperator Rome kind of adopts some of the mechanics that they added here. Really, I think in the patch, the Autumn of War patch that they're doing, I think we'll see some new stuff for the armies. That won't be till later this year, of course. So our corruption is currently growing. Why? Let's just take a look. Do we have to invest a little bit more into rooting out corruption, perhaps? But why is it growing? Let's just take a look. Oh, the overextension. Okay. That'll be no longer a problem once we core that territory. So for right now, we'll just have to deal with this and trying to get this ticked down. In fact, I know we're in the negative here, but that's okay. We're actually going to go in the negative a little bit further. Oh, it doesn't look like we can invest any further in rooting out corruption. Okay, that's the most we can do. All right, whatever. We'll do the most we can invest. Try and get that corruption to tick down a bit. Yeah, it doesn't look like we can tick it down due to the overextension. Well, that's fine. All right, so as far as the next, the future expansion, obviously we want to get this territory cored first. Maybe burn off a little bit of our aggressive expansion before we expand any further. But my goal was to attack them, but now that they've allied with the Papal States, that's going to cause us difficulties. So we might have to just go to war with Venice, which would require us to build up our army a bit more. Who are they allied with? The Knights and Aragon. Oh, okay, that is going to be a tricky fight. I think we might want to get a stronger ally before we do that. And the Burghers did lose 10 influence. There is an alliance offer from Trent here. I'm probably not going to accept that alliance. We still are looking for allies. We still have open slots here, guys. I mean, we're only using one of our diplomatic relations slots right now. Let me just see if there's anybody. No, there's still nobody to try and take advantage of, not having an heir, succession issues. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and do a couple things before we keep playing here. We're going to start by trying to figure out who the hell we can ally. Try and get another alliance going for diplomacy here. There's a lot of different options. There's just nobody like nearby that I'd really like to ally with. Again, I wanted somebody that'd help us out against the Swiss, but there's really nobody who kind of borders them that would be all that helpful. I think we're just gonna have to wait until like more options become available. Yeah, I guess that's the case. There's just nobody here that really likes us. Why do the Papal States not want to ally with us? They are considering us a neutral here. Let's just take a look and see what the issue here is. Oh, okay, I see. It's because we are rivaled with their ally, so that does make sense. All right, so that's unfortunate. I really wanted to ally with the Papal States. How about Naples? What's going on with them? Yeah, it looks like just the small military we have is also causing some issues. I just don't see us as being as useful in war, so we could go ahead and build up a little bit more. And you know what, we're gonna do one more Latin Knight. We'll have 4 just to replace any losses. And I know that this is probably not the most efficient route to go, but that's fine. So we'll have 4,000 cav and 12,000 infantry. But we'll make sure they'll fill out any open holes we have in our flanks. So we'll get that done. And then the other thing, that was what I wanted to do. I remember there's one other thing I wanted to do. We're gonna go ahead and mark all the provinces that we are interested in conquering here. Just to let everybody know what we want to conquer. Guess we'll say we're interested in conquering that Swiss territory up there. We'll just mark all of Switzerland, all the provinces they own. They're all our provinces, is what I declare. Let me take a look at these guys. They probably won't be around much longer, in fact. Yeah, they are currently occupied. Occupied by Switzerland. Okay. Yeah, I did see them coming across our lands here. I wasn't sure where they were going. So we're just gonna have to wait. Again, get this territory cored and get our aggressive expansion burned down. So I do apologize if you hear any of those vehicle sounds. I'm gonna try and cut them out, the loud ones, like that one that just went by. I'm gonna cut that out. There's gonna be a lot of cuts though, because there are a lot of vehicles going by tonight. It's just that time of day that I'm recording here. So the Burgundians want military access. Let's see why they're trying to move through our territory. And yeah, sure, why not? We'll accept it. They can come through our territory. And then Austria demands the unlawful territory here. And I'm going to tell them no. I don't care what they demand. I'm not giving them a damn thing. All right, so let's go to merge these so that the cav unit can start getting their army drill up. And yeah, we are just absolutely broke. Not doing well, but again, I think once we core this territory, it'll be better. We did gain 405 manpower. We're only going to play a couple more minutes. One thing I'd like to show, though. Interesting. I thought if you clicked on this, then it would take you to the estate screen. We can also invest in military tech, so we will. Get us some more land morale and military tactics there. But yeah, the estates, you can also give these guys privileges. And this is, a lot of these do require that you give them some crown land, so that's something to consider. But yeah, there's actually some really good bonuses here. These all do limit your max absolutism, but some of them are worth it, I feel. That's very nice bonuses. We'll probably take a look at that a little bit later in the series. And we have now eclipsed our rival here, so that's going to tick up our power projection up to the point where we're now getting +1 of all the powers for just a little while anyways, because it looks like that should probably end up ticking below 50 soon. So we're going to want to end our trade embargo with them since they're no longer a rival. That is also going to improve our relations with the Papal States since we're not rivaled anymore. So that'll be really nice. We might, in fact, be able to get an alliance with them. So let's go ahead and revoke the embargo here, and now we need to find another country to rival. So see who would be the best one to do. Basically, it's going to be one of these two, since again, I don't really want to rival Savoy. I'm really hoping that that'll change and they won't be rivaled with us anymore. So one of these two are going to have to be the rival. Let's take a look at which one would make the most sense based on like who they are rivaled with and allied with. So if we wanted to be friends with the Papal States, but they're allied with Savoy, so we'd have to fight them, huh? While Genoa's allied with Naples. Okay, the Papal States is rivaling them. So you know what? Let's do Genoa, guys. Good God, guys, it is so loud outside tonight. Yeah, I'm gonna have to, there's gonna be like 30 cuts in this damn video because of how loud it is. So we're gonna go ahead and rival Genoa. And who are we gonna attack next since we're not attacking them? Are they still at war with anybody? They are not. Okay, so I think we're gonna go after them next. Let's see who they're allied with. They're allied with Mantua. Okay. That could be a way that we could annex them. So I suppose we'll be going after them next. I think that makes the most sense for us. So let's go ahead and set up our spy to do the spy network here. Also, we're going to take a look and see if our relations with the Papal States has improved enough. Not quite. We're almost there. In fact, if we just improved relations a little bit, then I think we should be able to ally with the Papal States, which would be a nice way to end this episode since we are just about there. Yes, they would be willing to ally with us. However, by the time that our guy got back, he'd probably tick down, so we'd need to improve this just a little bit more. Get them at least where they're at 1. And there's a revolt. So we can ignore them and that'll increase unrest. Or we can lower taxes. And I don't have any interest in doing that. And this is only 5 years, so let's say ignore them. We almost have our course done, by the way. We have 2 rebel factions going here as well. So let's see if this is enough. So we don't, yeah, we should be good. So let's go and stop improving relations. And then offer the alliance to the Papal States. And there we go. So I got my Papal alliance that I wanted. And you can also see we have a little bit of Papal influence. We have enough to invest into trying to becoming the Papal controller. I feel like we're just not large enough for that, guys. So instead, we're going to be using our Papal influence to get some of the bonuses here instead as we get that higher. So I think that's probably a pretty solid place to end the episode, guys. You know, we've gotten through, you know, about 8 years, and given this is a pretty long video for only making it through 8 years, we're almost to the point where we can get our first government reform. We'll get that on the 1st of June, so a couple years from here. And we already know who our next victim is going to be. We're going to be invading these guys, and not only should we be able to take them, but we should also be able to annex them too, Mantua. We won't bring them in as a belligerent. Oh, well, you know what? Not entirely sure what will happen if we declare war here because of the fact that we're allied with them. Yeah, this could get kind of weird. Yeah, not entirely sure what's going to end up happening here, guys, because of the kind of mixed alliances here. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens, guys. But yeah, we've started getting some stuff done here. As far as our missions go, you know, obviously we really need to go after Genoa if we want to complete this mission. So maybe we'll do that next after these guys here. Just looking at other missions here that we need to do. These ones require us to invade into Venice, which we're not quite ready to do just yet. So yeah, we could also try and build up our development. That's going to take some time though, getting it up to 30. That'll take quite a while. And we haven't found a good strong ally yet either. We could always try and ally with like France, and then of course that'd result in like some Italian wars type of situation. Just seeing who they're currently. Okay, that'd be one option. They're not willing to ally with us though. Really, there's just not any powerful countries that are interested in allying with us, as we had seen before when we looked at it. There's just not a lot of countries. Oops, I want to dissolve the alliance. It looks like, Oh, okay, that's why. We just need to wait. So, you know, I'm going to wait just a second. Now, we've got both of our cores done as well. Excellent. Because, yeah, I just want to take a look and see if anything has changed here. Yeah, really, there's nobody. We can ally with Brandenburg. They're quite far away, though. Yeah, no strong countries in order to fulfill that mission. But yeah, again, I really like this expansion. I like a lot of the changes. I really like what they did with the states. I really like what they did with mercenaries as well. Glad they gave Catholicism some love. And the map looks a lot nicer as well. Just a lot more tags, a lot more provinces, and I like the changes they did with the map so far that I've noticed anyways. And again, this is one of my favorite features here. I really like this change here, and this is all in the patch, I believe. So yeah, it's overall, I feel like I'm liking it so far. I still have certain issues, you know, with the game that, you know, are still present and probably always going to be present, like the fact that most of the events are random. You know, they don't have any, you know, triggers or conditions that need to be fulfilled for them to fire, so they're often not very. They're not based off of what's going on in your country. So, you know, you have an event that will fire, say, the nobles are angry when, you know, you can clearly see that the nobles are not angry. Maybe they love you, but there's no trigger for the game checks to see how the nobles actually feel about you. So you can have the loyalty way up and they love you, and then they're just angry for no reason. So I still don't like the random nature of the event. Another issue, of course, I'm probably always going to have with it is the lack of historical accuracy in the game. It's not the most historically accurate Paradox game. You know, I have a degree in this period. My history degree focused on early modern European history. So I think it bothers me a little bit more than other people. Just, I know it's a silly thing. It's a video game. And I don't feel like I feel like gameplay should trump historical accuracy in many cases. But in many of the things that Paradox does with the game, I sometimes feel like they could have historical accuracy, and in fact, the gameplay might even be better. And just certain things, and we'll talk about those as we come upon them. One thing we do need to do, and the reason why we're so damn broke here, is we need to stop paying for that fort, and that would actually help with our money troubles. I just realized that. But anyways, I do like many of the changes. So far, I'm enjoying the new patch and expansion. But we'll see if this is something that we're going to be playing more of on the channel. It's going to be entirely based off of one, you know, do I continue enjoying this, 10, 15, 20 videos in, and then also how do the views do. I don't play EU4 on the channel much. The other series did okay, not as well as like EU4, or excuse me, not as well as HoI4 or CK2 has done on the channel, but it did okay. So we'll see how this series does. How the views are, how popular it is, how much interaction is going on, with the likes and the comments, and then we'll kind of determine, based on that, on one, how long this series will be, because I do not expect to go to the end of the game. I just let you guys know that here in episode 1, this will not probably go until the very end of the game of, I think it's 1822 is when the game ends. So we will not go that far. I've never made it that far. And the entire time I've been playing EU4, I get bored. You get too big and too powerful, and there's just no reason to keep playing, in my opinion. So I think the furthest I've ever made it is mid mid 1700s. Typically I end it somewhere in the 1600s, the 17th century is when I typically end it, just because by that point I feel like, you know, you've already built a large powerful empire that the AI can't defeat, and there's just not as much challenge. So that's when I expect to go in this series. Is again, it'll be based on views, but it will not be till the end of the game. I'll tell you that right now. I'd rather start a new series and again have that challenge. As far as how many videos we're going, again, we'll base that off of views. But I do want to let you guys know that it would not be to the end, to 1822. Just so, you know, maybe that helps you make a decision on whether you wanted to watch a series. 'Cause I know some people want, you know, you to go all the way to the end in every series, which I just don't do that in EU4. But yeah, we will play for a while though. I do plan on playing. It should be a good length campaign here. So hope you guys did enjoy this first episode. I'm excited to be playing a different Paradox game, since we do typically play mostly HoI4 on the channel. So it's always fun to play a different game, whether it's CK2 or EU4. So I do hope you guys enjoyed this series. We will be continuing talking about you know, the different mechanics. I'll explain things as we go. You know, I don't want to focus too much on it, since I know that we need to balance that, because there are many people who have a lot of experience with the game, but I'll continue explaining mechanics. Also, if you have any questions, you're new to the game, you have questions, then ask them down in the comments below. I'm sure either myself or one of the other more experienced players could answer your questions. So we will continue doing that, and I'll also continue talking about little historical things. I'm going to try and balance it more than like what I did with that Imperator Rome series, where I spent like, I don't know, 20 something minutes of not playing and talking about history, and some people like that, many did not. So we will not be doing that. I'll just put little tiny tidbits here and there, little historical knowledge, historical facts, little events, people, historical characters. But yeah, we won't. I won't get too crazy with it, guys. Also, I love learning about history, and you know, while this is my historical period that I'm quite knowledgeable of, I know that there are many people that are from Europe and from these regions who might be even more knowledgeable than me about, you know, say Milan, you know, northern Italy. You might live in Milan, you know, and if you have any historical information you'd like to share, historical facts, I always like reading those. I know many other people appreciate that as well, so feel free to post that in the comments too, specifically about, you know, the country we're currently playing, Milan, and the northern Italy region. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of our content. Leave a comment. Those comments and all those interactions, the likes and stuff, all do help at the search engine, help people find my content, so I definitely appreciate it. I also do read and reply to all comments as well. I do enjoy talking to you guys, so any feedback is much appreciated. You know, whether it's commentary about you know, the actual series, suggestions, tips, or you know, historical knowledge, or just questions you have. Again, I do read all comments. Remember, if you're looking to purchase the game or the expansion or any other Paradox content, then you can use that link in the description to the Paradox store, which is an affiliate link, and we'll get a little percentage of any thing that you buy. We'll get a little percentage of the revenue. So definitely appreciate that. If you're looking for any other links, then also check in the description. You'll find links to our PayPal and Patreon if you'd like to support the channel through other means, as well as our Teespring merchandise store. You'll find links to all of our social media, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. And finally, you'll find a link to our Discord if you'd like to join our community. If you are looking for something to watch while you wait for the next episode, then check out the front page of our channel. We have 3,000 something videos on this channel, and quite a bit of Paradox content. Now, we mostly play Hearts of Iron 4. We have played some other games. We did Imperator Rome when it first came out. We had one other EU4 series on the channel, that England one that we did back in 2018. It looks like England's got some rebellion problems. Yeah, they got English pretender rebels. So England's dealing with some issues there. Has the War of the Roses started? Maybe it's a bit early, but yeah, it might have started already. Yeah, they might have already had some problems with the War of the Roses here at this point. Not entirely sure. But anyways, yeah, if you're looking for any links, or excuse me, if you're looking for any other videos, then go check out that front page of the channel. It is all sorted by genre, and we have a section specifically for Hearts of Iron 4 since I play so much of that. So if you're looking for that content, then look in that section for some of our more recent series. And then we played a little bit of Stellaris as well. That's the other Paradox game we've done a couple series of that, and then of course CK2. We did those 2 roleplay series recently. And I would definitely be playing CK3 when that comes out in a couple months. I know a lot of people have asked me about that. And yes, we will be doing a CK3 series on launch. Really, really excited for that. So yeah, we'll be playing that. We're playing a World War II turn-based strategy game right now called Strategic Mind Blitzkrieg, which I also did some voiceover work for. So maybe check out that series. Should be having the 3rd scenario up this weekend, the invasion of Norway. And if you enjoy other games outside of the strategy genre, my wife and co-host here on the channel, Jinx, and I play quite a few different types of games. We play a lot of different genres of game, pretty much anything that looks like it'll be fun. We'll play whether it's action games, RPGs, simulator games. We've been playing a lot of those recently. So yeah, if you like other content, then maybe check out some of the stuff that we have done together, especially if you're looking for co-op content, because we play a lot of co-op games. So I do hope to see you guys on the next episode, which will be released on Sunday. Should be early Sunday morning. So I do hope to see you on that episode, and thanks for watching.